Hello everyone, Donnie Wanders here, and today I have wandered to the Barry's Head Lighthouse in Guysborough County, Nova Scotia. Last night I got a message from my friend Jason, who I went to university with, and we were bandmates for a time, so we've known each other for, like 20 something years, and he was asking me questions about hiking, and he said he was coming to this lighthouse because he's an amateur photographer. And then as we were messaging, we decided that I would come with him. So that's how we ended up here. All right, we're at the Trailhead. This is what the Trailhead looks like. There's Jason behind me, who has invited me to come on this trek today. So we'll get started. Here's what the trail itself looks like. So you can see it's a little muddy. I think we're gonna get wet feet today, but we have extra socks. So we should be all good. So let's get started. Only about maybe 50 meters from where we parked. This is the trail that we've been following. It's extremely swampy, and we are immediately pretty well at the beach. So just over this crest, like right out here, on the other side of that is the beach. But you can see Jason trying to pick his way through this really swampy area. So that's where we are. We're trying to negotiate through this swampy area without getting completely soaked. But like you can see here, it's so wet. But once we get through here, and Jason is making really good progress, so I'll go next, then we're hoping that it's just kind of a beach walk. Okay, we thought we were on some sort of little path, but it's turned into this mess. And Jason is struggling. I'm about to struggle to get up over all this like scrub. So it's areas like over here, you can see it's relatively clear, but then this is what we're contending with. And we have to try and cross a pond. We just beat our way through this mess behind us. I fell down in a perfectly soft, moss-covered, body-shaped hole. It was like I was caught and cradled by the softest thing possible. But look where we are. We've come out to some kind of clearing. Looks kind of boggy, but we're gonna attempt to head kind of across that way and continue to head for the lighthouse. We have not been walking very long, and the distance that we've covered is pretty short, but it feels like we're on this massive lumberjack adventure. We are currently kind of going in between this rocky shoreline kind of stuff and the woods. And this is the scene before us. Our feet are wet, but our spirits are high. Because it really is like quite a nice day.
It's a beautiful day.
Isn't it? Yeah. How are you feeling?
Feet are wet and I'm sweaty.
I know, I'm hot and cold. All at the same time.
I have all of the things.
All right, well, we think we're maybe a little less than halfway. But we will keep going. Just stop to enjoy this view. I just came across this beautiful barrens onto this rocky beach. Just really taken with how beautiful it is here. I know I say that about everywhere, but I really mean it. Look at this. Something. We just came across this skeleton scattered about on the beach. There's some bones here and a spine over here. Does anyone know what this animal might be? I'm gonna try and sit down here for context. That's my hand compared to these giant, they feel like giant vertebrae. They're not, it's not gigantic, but this is from a very large animal. We don't know what it is. I don't see a skull, but there's some ribs around, like here. Yeah, I was thinking maybe a seal, but maybe even a bigger animal than that. So Jason just stumbled upon a skull right here. What kind of skull is that? Does anybody know? It has huge teeth. Oh, and it's just like maybe the skeleton, the rest of the skeleton is like right there by that tree. So it's very close. So we think this is probably the same animal. Check it out. What animal is this? It almost looks like a moose. What do you think?
One, though, right?
Yeah, it would be small. Oh, some geese letting us know that they're here. Yeah, who knows what kind of animal this is. Oh. These parts, these are interesting. What are those? When I got home, I did some sleuthing online to see if I could figure out what that skeleton and skull were, and these are images that I found of seal skulls, so I'm pretty sure that's what we found on the beach. Okay, this has been a really hard hike. I think we've been walking for about 2 hours, and it's mostly been bushwhacking and not really following a trail, just following the coast, which is really, really beautiful, but it's challenging. And we just got our first glimpse of the reason that we're here today. So way out in the distance is the lighthouse, the Barry's Head Light, and that's where we're headed. As we're approaching Barry's Head, this is a pretty cool feature. We have, first of all, if you can see the rocks that I'm walking on, very, very difficult to walk on these large boulders, beach boulders. But this is kind of cool. Whew. A little lagoon behind this very large berm. And there's the ocean. And of course the lighthouse in the background. And we've seen quite a lot of these yellow things are lobster traps that have obviously been cut free, or they broke free of their lines out on the ocean, and they get pushed up along the shore. So that's what these yellow things are that you can see here. You may notice it's getting quite loud here because we are next to the pounding surf, but we're like 200 meters from the lighthouse. We're almost there. As you approach the lighthouse, it's quite a dramatic landscape here. There's some very big cliffs, and there's the lighthouse in the background. That lighthouse has been here since 1978, and it's not a typical lighthouse. It's fairly short and doesn't have sort of the big tower that you're accustomed to seeing, or we're accustomed to seeing here in Nova Scotia. This lighthouse was a replacement of a former light that we can see the ruins of here. These are the ruins of the lighthouse that was erected here in the 1870s that was eventually replaced with this structure. So these, the concrete ruins are still here. I'm not sure what all the parts are. This apparently was a typical lighthouse in that it was a short tower with a house for the keeper. I'm assuming that this part over here is the I'm thinking that this was like the chimney for the lighthouse, because it looks like the ruins of an old hearth, but this is likely where that keeper would have lived. And then perhaps this side is the light itself. It's so fascinating to see structures like this. So here is the new lighthouse. And when I say new, I mean the 46-year-old lighthouse that doesn't actually function anymore. These lighthouses, or this lighthouse and many lighthouses in Nova Scotia, were automated in the 1990s. So that is when lighthouse keepers were phased out. Everything was automated, the light was automated. And now a lot of these lighthouses aren't used at all, mainly due to the improvements in navigation technology. It's a pretty cute little house. It's very small, and it's way out here on this point. So I would love to climb down on those rocks, but it's pretty steep, so I'm not going to. And what we're looking at here is called Tor Bay in Guysborough County. Thanks for letting me come here with you today, Jason.
Thanks for coming with me. Thanks for being my guide.
It's been quite an adventure.
Always fun.
So I have a question for you. What do you like about lighthouses?
Oh my goodness. That's a very good question. I don't know.
It's a big one.
It is a very big one. I think they're really cool structures. I like that they're in isolated points, generally speaking. They're like I don't know.
We were talking about it on the way here as we approached when we were coming in from back there. And it was like, ooh, doesn't this make you want to be a lighthouse keeper?
Yeah.
No. Yeah, it kind of does. Like there's something magical about these places. Yeah.
They're just like, they're isolated. They're the last line of defense against rocks and bad seas. Bad seas, yeah. Yeah, they're just like, yeah, they just kind of make your imagination go off. Like, and it's not just imagination. I mean, it's like these people actually lived here. It was very isolated. It's a hard job.
It's a hard job. Yeah. Yeah. So, where are we, Jason? Look at the mess that we're in.
We're in the middle of a hurricane attack.
This is so thick.
But we got to the middle of it.
We just had to like belly roll over these trees. This is not recommended.
1 out of 10. Do not recommend.
No. The payoff was good. The lighthouse was like
Yeah, but that was hours ago now.
That feels like hours ago, yeah. It's so thick, like we don't know how we're gonna get out of this.
Sheer will and determination.
Yeah. Anyway, we're still alive, so that's the trail report for now.
This is turning into the Blair Witch Project.
Update number 2, we're still alive. We just crawled out of the woods. That was an extreme bushwhack. And Jason and I are both very proud of what we just accomplished. I know that we couldn't film it because it was so thick that we needed 2 hands at all times. But we did it. And now we're back out on this lovely path. There's the ocean behind us, behind this berm, and we think we're like 15 minutes back to the car. Yeah, so we're quite pleased. This is it. This is our... Here we are. Here's the path. Back to the car. Whew, all right.
All right.
Okay, we're approaching the car. And right now, this path feels so luxurious. We have been hiking for 7 hours. Most of that bushwhacking to the Berry Head light. And that was really hard. It is not a typical thing that I would do, is to go bushwhacking, but I'm glad that we attempted it. We think we only hiked 7 to 8 kilometers, which feels like not long enough for the effort was put in. Glad we did it. Would you do it again?
Not again, but
no.
I'm glad I did it.
Yeah, it was a big adventure. It was really hard. We both pushed our limits, so all in all, it was a really good day. But I'm glad that it's almost over. So, thank you, Jason, and thanks everyone for watching. I'm Donnie Wanders. We'll see you in the next one.